yeah. It's good, y'all. Wait till we get some people on. Tell y'all about what we got coming up. Got big things popping. It's Friday night, so, you know, I'm sure a lot of people will be out chilling. May not be on YouTube to go live. Let's see what we got. Get a few people on. And their Fridays. Staying safe out there. Staying out of trouble. You know. Friday night's when the most crazy shit happens. Now this might be the weirdest live ever. Gotta be Friday. Usually we get them coming in a lot quicker. I'm gonna answer some questions for anybody that wants to ask any. Try to shout out those whose names I see. See what's up. Mixer coming next week. We also got a pop-up in Florida. A big pop-up event. And again, I know Friday nights, the 202, what's up, brother? You're the first one to comment, so you definitely get that shout out. I hope you're enjoying your Friday. This is definitely the smallest live feed I've had. It's got to be because it's Friday. Usually get a lot more people on than this. Might just be slow going. The 202, I hope you are chilling on Friday though. Anybody got questions about the mixer for next week? That's mainly why I'm doing this video. I want to try to generate some interest for the mixer. Todd Butler, what's good? Man, yo, I'm not going to lie to y'all. Usually, Shaggy, what's good? Dalton, what's good? Appreciate you, man. Glad you enjoy the content. Since it's a slower night, I'm gonna wait till we get about 50 on, then I'm gonna say what's up. Man, we get much love to the few that are on. So look, it's gonna be a smaller night, so I'm just gonna speak. Next week we got a boxing mixer coming, y'all. For those that don't know what a boxing mixer is, boxing mixer has no weight classes. Everybody's assumed to be skilled. Anybody can match up with anybody. So far, you know, it's a spur of the moment boxing mixer looking like it's going to be big. Christina Harris, shout out. Mark Slams, what it be, baby? Appreciate you clicking on. So with the boxing mixer, we got Nasty Native coming out. We got man, we got a lot of people. I'm fighting again. I'm excited to get back out there. Best way to get over a big loss is to get back in the ring, you know. Master Chief, what's good? Master Chief 0970. Juan Hammer, shout out to Canada. Usually Sunshine will be in comments with links to the sign up. But for real, the fastest way is to join our Facebook group, y'all. So with the mixer, we also got a pop-up event down in Tampa. Wait a minute. Excuse me. Fort Myers, Florida. We got a pop-up event in Fort Myers, Florida next Saturday as well. So anybody that wants to sign up for either, again, the fastest way is to join our Facebook group. You can also sign up to our Instagram page. So those videos will be uploading starting next Sunday. But again, we still got videos from this last event that are uploaded. Man, we had some banging ass fights. Shaggy, Cadezilla 67. It's the 18th, or I gone. Okay, that's what's up, Shaggy. Good luck to you. Who you fight? Oh, you fighting Demon. Okay. That's what's up, man. Who else has fights coming up? you got a fight coming up, comment below. Tell me about your upcoming fight. Tell me who you fighting. Tell me a little bit about, what your prediction is. O Miller O, do you have any first fight people? I'd love to come mix it up, but I haven't been in a real fight. Absolutely, brother. So, believe it or not, well, some people would think this. A portion of our fighters have never had a real fight. They come because they want to experience a fight. We poll our fighters very carefully and ask them their experience, and we match people up accordingly. I believe and I feel that we do a pretty good job with matchups. Now, there's always going to be some fights that are one-sided just because that's the way the fight game is. But overall, I think we do a good job getting people matched up fairly evenly. Nate Carter. Yo, it's a dream of mine to come to Australia. Unfortunately, my understanding from our members that are from Australia, the laws be strict against backyard fighting. I could be wrong, though. I'm high as giraffe balls. That's got to be the best fucking name I've ever heard. Nate Carter, well, yo, we got another dude who made it, his bucket list to come from Australia, and he actually came out and fought from Australia, man. Maybe one day you'll make it. We'd love to have you. The 202, thank you, brother. We try, man. We never want somebody to come to the yard and feel like they were just mismatched and got beat down or unfairly matched. Now, again, I'm sure there's people that have had that experience, but it wasn't by design. We always we try to make it as fair as possible. DRX1. Backyard fighting is not illegal in America, especially not in Virginia. Virginia is a mutual combat state, which makes backyard fighting 100% legal as long as we're on private property with consenting adults, which we are. Viper asks, are fighters able to just show up to the location and fight, or do you need a contract? Yes, you're absolutely just able to show up. You'll be asked for ID, and you will have to sign a waiver. As long as you have ID and sign a waiver, the waiver's going to ask some very pointed questions about your health, and your training background, etc. But as long as you're willing to sign that and provide ID, you can in fact fight. LP asks, do fighters get paid? They do not. That would make what we do against the law. That would make any amateur org against the law. At least in Virginia, amateur orgs cannot pay fighters, and we're not even considered amateur. We're underground, quote unquote. So the short answer is no, we do not pay our fighters. Connor says he would body all the Streetbeefs fighters. Connor, I say to you, guys who say shit like that probably can't fight their way out of a wet paper bag. Just being real with you, bro. In my experience, the fighters that can actually fight never tell me they can fight on YouTube. They say, yo, I want to sign up. They don't ask no questions. They come out and they beat the living hell out of one of our fighters. It's just my experience over 14 years. Youngstown, Ohio. Hey, Breadwinner Ruger, my wife beside me, I can tell you the scariest experience we ever had was the second scariest was in Youngstown. The two scariest experiences I ever had was in Ohio. The first was in Columbus, the second was in Youngstown. Seen a dude get smoked up there. Youngstown is the terror zone. Viper said, would you ever host a mixed rules match like one round is boxing? We've already done that. Viper, go on the channel and look up Menace Mike versus Rampage. Already did it. They did 1 round MMA, 1 round boxing, 1 round MMA. It was actually very exciting. David Diaz, shout out to Chile. We love y'all. Ungato says, London Crystal Palace area, Reading Royals, London Arsenal, Gunners. Our team split. We were Gunners. Hey, that's amazing. I'm sure Iraqi Assassin's going to love that story. He's a big soccer fan.
Yeah.
Brent Winter Ruger says, I was just in Virginia today for my B-Day. Wish I could have checked you out. I'm going to see you soon, though, Face. Hey, I hope to see you soon, brother. Be safe out there, man, and happy birthday. The Almighty, shout out to Cali, man. I absolutely love Cali. Nate Cotter says, don't need permit if we just set it up out here on the property. Cops never come here. Hey, brother, I always tell people, listen, I'll never give you legal advice, but if your country permits, you know, and it helps with gun violence, do what you got to do, man. I'm always for stopping gun violence. Viper asked, how long have I been running Streetbeefs? How long do I plan on continuing it? I've been running Streetbeefs about 14 years. Well, actually over 14 years. We started in 2008. I plan on continuing a few more years. I'm not going to lie. It gets more stressful each year. My sons and daughter will be taking over soon with the advisement of Lord Bestaban, but that'll still be a few years down the road. Mungatu says we need more gun laws. Listen, bro, I agree. I think, you know, I don't think we should ever ban guns. I think it's part of American culture, but I do think that something's got to change, man. I don't know the answer, and I won't pretend to know the answer, but something's got to change, especially when babies are getting gunned down. Fuck it's Lou Wavy. Will we ever see Scarface in MMA? I mean, your hands are good, but I don't think I've seen you grapple. I actually did old MMA matches. If you go back and look at our old highlight videos, I had a few, but the guys back then were mostly just street brawlers. You know, these weren't guys that were college wrestlers or brown belts in jiu-jitsus. So I actually told Esteban I'd like to try one more before I go out the door. Smoking with Smalls Down said, how many fights are under my belt? In the yard, I've got 25 now. That don't count. When I was a kid, I boxed through Erie Boxing Academy 39 times. And then, of course, I had street fights. But as far as street beefs, it was 25 fights. Ren said, so we're adding people rights laws. Brother, I don't understand your comment. Elaborate, and I'll reply to you. Carson K said, I love your introduction to the fights. Thank you, bro. Much love to you. Viper said, what's the limit for fighters as in ranks and records, such as people? So, Viper, as long as you're not professional, you can fight. I don't give a fuck if you're a 10th degree black belt. And we've actually had black belts in jiu-jitsu come into the yard and get knocked out in the first round. These are verified black belts, okay? We had a guy, and I always hate saying this because I don't want him to feel like I'm calling him out. I'm actually saying this because I'm proud that he fought in our yard. We had a guy who was a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, who was 10-3 in MMA. He came in the yard and got knocked out in under 2 minutes by a guy who had no amateur fights and no jiu-jitsu background. Gun laws just removed, Dalton said gun laws just remove guns from law-abiding citizens. We need less crazies. Dalton, I don't want to get into a gun debate because my wife is very pro-2A, and I'm not against the Second Amendment. All I will say is countries like Japan, Australia and New Zealand had mass shootings. They banned guns completely, and surprise, surprise, they've had no more mass shootings. So I would have to strongly disagree that gun laws don't work. I'm not advocating removing all gun rights, but I do think we need more regulation. Smoking with Smalls Down said, what's your stance in cannabis? Well, let me show you. I don't know if you can see the 7-inch marijuana leaf on my arm. I no longer smoke. The only reason is because it makes me paranoid now. I think cannabis should be legal. I don't think that it's hurtful, and I think it's a lot less dangerous than alcohol, which kills tens of thousands of people. Renz, love from Mexico, my brother. We love our Mexican supporters and fighters. Fuck, it's Lou Wavy said, Scarface, when's the last time you've been wasted? So I don't know that it's a wild story. Well, okay, the last time I was wasted wasn't a wild story, but I'll tell you the last wild story while wasted. My wife will tell you, it was in 04, 05. I just got out of lockup. I went out to the bar with my dad and a few other dudes, and I got really fucked up. I was drinking something called Ice 101, which is 101 proof peppermint schnapps. Came out of the club, I passed out on the sidewalk outside the club. My pops came like, yo, what the fuck you doing? Woke me up. I got home to my wife, passed out, threw up all over the floor. She was like, yo, what the fuck? And she helped me to bed, and yeah, that was the last time that I got really wasted. Toughest cat I met. The 202 said the toughest cat I met. So I've met a lot of tough dudes, man, in between prison, the streets, and the yard. The absolute toughest dude I met was a dude named Mr. White. He was a black dude in prison. I got in a fight with him over a spades game. I kept reneging. If you haven't played spades, you probably don't know what reneging is, but it's when you cut a book and you still have that suit. He tried to call it, but the rule was you have to pick the book where the renege happened. And so I was like, I had switched the books around. I was cheating. And he knew I reneged, but he couldn't prove it. So I kept talking shit to him, and he stole on me. And we got in a big fight. It was a knockdown, drag-out fight. And long story short, you know, I held my own with the old head. He was 42 years old. I was like 20. But I went to bed that night with both my eyes swelled shut. But people came up to me the next day like, yo, I heard you fought Mr. White, and you got the best of it. I was like, motherfucker, look at my face. Does it look like I got the best of him? Like, my head was hurting for like 5 days. And I hit him with some shots I thought should have put him away. I was young in my prime. He taught me a valuable lesson, yo. He was a tough dude. Ren said, what's the best Street Beefs fight I've ever seen? Man, there's been so many good ones. I gotta say to you though, it was previously 5 Cent, 5 Cent versus Red Baron. It was an MMA fight between super heavyweights. It was back in our old school days. But Venom Black versus our guy versus Showtime. Best fight now that I've ever seen. John said, what do I know about Ferguson unit? I've heard that it's absolute, the Terror Dome. I had a friend that was there. If we're talking about the Fed unit, elaborate, John, if you're talking about the Fed unit. I want to make sure we're talking about the same place. If so, I've heard it's Gladiator School. Viper, I'm going to answer your question, then I'm going to reply to John when he comes back on. If you could pick 5 of the most legendary Street Beefs MMA fighters, who would it be? Legendary.
Oh God, the best ones?
Legendary, don't necessarily mean best. Iraqi Assassin to me is number one. It's not just because he's my boy. Iraqi Assassin is 31-5 in MMA in the yard. Come on.
That African kid.
Vandal, I'm going to put up there because he paved the way for a lot of new guys. Baby Hawk. Baby Hawk had the most viral MMA vid of all time with Streetbeefs. Plus, he was a beast. That's your exit. Let's see. This is tough, dude, because I'm going to leave somebody out. I'm going to leave somebody. I want to try to get some modern guys. And it's tough, man. Reckless Rico.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say I could.
He had a bunch of nasty title defenses.
Dude, fucking Hannah's a beast. I'm sorry.
Man, I'm scared to answer the last one just because I don't want to leave nobody out. Man, there's so many good ones, guys. I don't know. But I'll just put it this way. I'll tell you what. I'm going to make a list. Y'all quote me on this. Tomorrow, I'm going to upload a list of my top 10 Streetbeefs MMA fighters of all time and my top 10 boxers of all times. Y'all can thank Viper for me making that list. LP said, where am I headed to? I'm headed home. I actually just left the river doing a little bass fishing. My wife just caught a beast today. I was waiting to reply to John again, but I think maybe he clicked off. So I'm gonna bail out here in a minute. Live High said, what is my favorite boxing gloves? So my personal favorite to wear is Rival. I've tried a lot of gloves, my dude. I'm a gear junkie. I buy all different types of gloves. Rival fits my hands perfectly. I got a pair of Rivals right now. They're like Cadillacs for your hands. But HKA USA, as far as my fighting gloves, they just mold your hand perfect to fight in. Check out HKA USA, y'all. I'm going to get one last question, and then I'm going to bounce out. Samuel Slaughter, we're going to try to accommodate my brother. Okay, we kind of, Jude, is Carson there? Kind of getting spammed, but shout out to Jude. I don't think he means anything bad by it. One last question, guys. Try to get a good one here. Appreciate y'all, man, for real. Yo, real talk. I don't even have a moderator on tonight, and we got the best fans on planet Earth. It's real talk. So Vanessa CPP Decoy said, the best KO I've seen. Damn. Are you talking Streetbeefs or UFC? I'm just going to assume that you're talking in general. That also is tough for me. So I'm going to pick two. My favorite boxing knockout of all time and my favorite boxing match of all time is Ray Mercer versus Tommy Morrison. The announcers talked shit on Ray Mercer nonstop that fight. It was a joke, dude. They sat there and said Ray Mercer couldn't fight, that he had no boxing skill, he was just tough. They rode Tommy Morrison's dick the whole fight. Ray Mercer played Tommy Morrison. He sat there and let Tommy Morrison gas himself the whole fight, and he put the nastiest knockout on him that I've ever seen in boxing history. My favorite MMA knockout, Dan Anderson versus Michael Bisping, for similar reasons. Michael Bisping talked big shit and lead up to that fight, dude. He disrespected Dan Anderson nonstop. There was a lot of people that said that when it came to boxing, that it was going to be a walk in the park for Michael Bisping because Dan Henderson was just a power puncher. All he did was threw bombs left and right. He had no technical boxing, and he got out there and he absolutely, oh my God, wrecked Michael Bisping. It was the most satisfying knockout I've ever seen That and Ray Mercer. So if any of you are young and have not seen those knockouts, please, you got to go check them out. Listen, y'all, I'm out. I got to go. We love y'all. We appreciate you. I see my brother, Lord Esteban. Go check out his channel as well. Grins, much love, Mexico. We're coming to North Carolina soon. Peace, y'all. We appreciate you. Enjoy your Friday. Be safe out there.